resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Hello, my next level friends. Welcome to the Artist Next Level podcast. Sergio Gomez here, your friend, and I am here today because I want to share with you 20 Instagram post ideas to try next. Maybe, and just maybe, it happens that sometimes you have a hard time, thinking about, okay, what else should I post on Instagram? I already posted most of my art. What should I do? I don't want to keep posting the same thing. I run out of ideas. What should I else post? And sometimes artists ask me, Sergio, do you have any ideas? What can I do about this? And I actually do. I put together a really nice PDF on 20 Instagram post ideas to try next, which I'm going to go over it briefly today. And this is actually one of the many resources that you will find on my new course for artists that's called Social Media Skills for Artists to Grow Your Audience and Get Results in 2019. This is just one of the many resources that are part of that online course, which you can take and you can check it out at www.theartistnextlevel.com/social media. Again, www.theartistnextlevel.com/social media. And if you can find it, all you got to do is just go to the description of this podcast and you will find a direct link to it right there. It's a pretty awesome course that I created for 2019 to help you really win with social media and really enjoy the process and grow your audience. All right, before I get started with the 20 Instagram post ideas to try next, first thing I want to say is, which is very important, particularly in 2019, think about, how you talk about your images. As you post an image on Instagram, don't just post the image, put the title medium size and then fill it out with a bunch of hashtags, which is what a lot of artists are doing, and no wonder they're having a hard time. Remember, storytelling is really important. Storytelling is kind of what connects us to things, right? It connects us to each other. So you always want to give context when you put an image. Never just put an image, a bunch of hashtags, and let it go. I always spend a little bit of time thinking about what the caption can I put here that's interesting, that will spark interest on the viewer and also maybe spark conversations. So at the end of the day, when a person gets into a conversation with you on a post, Instagram will make sure that more people see it, right? Versus if you post it and nobody really makes any comments, Instagram will think, well, nobody's really quite interested in this particular post, so we're not going to show it to everybody. So that's how it works, my friend. The more engagement you can get on a post, the better. So that's why you always want to think about your captions. And as we go through these 20 Instagram post ideas, I'm going to give you also some things that you might want to talk about with your post. So if you have a pen or pencil, piece of paper, or on your computer, write them down, because this is going to be a great podcast for you, helping you in 2019 get moving and growing your audience with your social media on Instagram particularly. And actually, here's the thing. All these work anywhere. They are not exclusively to Instagram. I made it for Instagram, but you can actually do this anywhere in any other social media. You can even use this in your email newsletter as well. If you don't know what to say next time, hey, pull this list and you'll get some great ideas. All right, let's go with the first one. Number one, post a finished artwork. And that's that's why I start with this one, because that's what everybody's doing. Post a picture of your finished artwork, and that is fine. You want to continue doing that. You want to show people what you do and what's done and what you have done in the past. So when you do this caption idea, talk about what makes the work unique, inspiring, challenging, etc. What it took to make it. Talk about what it was like when you were working on it. Never tell people what it means exactly, because you want people to discover that, right? You want people to engage in that process. But however, give them just a little snippet of information that they can grab into and then continue a conversation, that they can discover meaning for themselves. Just give a little context that they can grab onto to spark the imagination. That's what you want to do. So number one is finished artwork. Number two is work in progress, right? This one, again, a lot of artists are doing that, and that's awesome. Probably you're doing this right now, or you have done it before. Show a work in progress. And this is what I love about social media, particularly Instagram, that you can post, like 3 or 4 pictures in one single post, so people can just scroll through all 4 or 5, however many you posted. So you can show the progression of how a work was made or how a work is progressing in your studio. And this is pretty awesome. Lets people see how you work, and gives them a glimpse of what is it like to be an artist, right? Because remember, not everybody that follows you probably in your Instagram is an artist. So it is fascinating for people who have never been in an art studio to look at how art is made. Caption idea for this, you can talk about your medium, your style, your tools, the ways of working. Remember, not everybody took an art class, right? So there's a lot that you can do. You can use this as a teachable moment for your audience. And I think this provides a lot of value for your audience if you do it right. So check that out. Okay, number 3 is a studio or a studio shot or a studio video, right? That you are taking as you're working in your studio. The difference between this one and the work in progress is that in the work in progress you're really focusing on the work itself. On this one, a studio photo or video, you're really focusing on the environment, on your space, right? On your space, and you can do this, from one corner. You can do it from the bottom. I've seen really, really cool shots from artists from all types of angles, and I love it. I love it. Caption ideas that you can do here is, for example, think about that every profession has its own environment. So, you talk about your own professional environment. Talk about yours, right? How it feels to walk into your studio every day, or how, light works in your studio, how you organize your tools in your studio. What are some of the lessons that you have learned about working in your studio? What makes your studio unique? What is your favorite corner, your favorite chair, your favorite book, your favorite tool in your studio? We all have those things, and we've figured out, hey, nobody cares, but actually people do care about that. You can make a post or maybe your favorite book in your studio, grab it in your hands, take a picture while you're showing the studio as well, and talk about, this is my favorite work, my favorite book. It has been in my studio for the last 20 years, for example. What is your favorite book? Or in your profession, what's your favorite book? Or if you're an artist, what's your favorite artist book? Those things, I guarantee you that are going to increase your engagement. People will get talking about it, and it will be really, really awesome. So check that out. Now, here's something that I want to say about this one, about studio pictures or videos, that I love, artists working in the studio. I collect books about artists working in the studio. I love pictures. I follow Instagram accounts that share artists in their studios. So I do that so much that actually I have a domain name. It's called www.artistintheirstudios.com. It's a domain that eventually I want to do something with it. And right now I have a few videos in there. But I actually opened an Instagram account called Artists in Their Studios. That's the name of the account. If you go to Instagram and you find it, follow it, Artists in Their Studios. And more importantly, if you want to get featured on it, next time you post a picture of your art studio, whether you're working in your studio or just a picture of the studio, and you post it, make sure that in the comments in your post you tag me. So you tag Artists in Their Studio. So just when you put your hashtags at the end, put @ the @ symbol, and then Artists in Their Studios in plural. Artists in Their Studios, all one word. And when you do that, then I get to see it when I open the account, and every day I share Artists in Their Studios, because I just love that. And I don't charge for that, and there's no fee like many other accounts. I just love to share that, so that I think it becomes an educational tool for people who who don't know how art is made. So check it out and consider visiting Artists in Their Studios. All right, number four I think is a very good one. Take a picture of a detail of your artwork. Whether it's a work in progress or a finished one, just get really close with your camera. Really get on the surface. Think about, when you go to a show and you get really close and you can see the artwork 5 inches away, right? You can almost touch it. Of course, you shouldn't touch it, but you can almost do it. So, imagine that, right? That you can actually bring your audience that close into your work. And I've done this before, like sometimes a really close-up view or a really, a close-up view on the side, like looking at the painting, particularly if it's a work of art that I'm working on towards a show and I still don't want to maybe show it yet, just showing a little corner, shows the texture, shows the brush stroke, whatever it is that you do, whether it's painting. I think for those of you who are sculptors, this will be really awesome. Get us really close to the surface. Show us the surface. How does it feel to touch your art? So caption ideas, talk about the feeling of touching it. How you as an artist, you touch it. How, what's the feeling? Is it rough? Is it smooth? What's the surface? You can suggest what may be behind the detailed shot, for example. You can perhaps ask people to look at your previous post or scroll down to see a full image, if you have multiple images with the post. Details are fun really to play with. So have fun with this one, and I think you're going to have great engagement. All right, again, we continue idea number 5 of the 20 Instagram post ideas to try next. Number 5 is hold the artwork in your hands. This one works really well if you have small art. Of course, don't try this if you have, a 60 by 60 inch painting. No, but only for small work. This works wonderful. I've seen artists doing it all the time. Just hold it with one hand and take the picture with the other. There's something about the hand that gives beautiful scale to the work when it's small. Here's what happens again, and I'm talking here now as a curator of a larger center, and also director of my own art gallery. I look at a lot of art on my screen all day, every day. On social media and proposals and things that come my way, email and so on. And when you look at a work of art, that is cropped and perfectly positioned in the post or in the image, it's hard to tell scale, right? You have to look at the caption and figure out how big this thing is. But when you have the artwork in your hands, you don't have to ask, you don't have to do anything. Your brain already looks at the image and understands, oh, this is small, it is so cool. So, have fun with that. I've seen artists, very successful doing this particular technique of holding the artwork in their hand, and they do really well. So particularly so you who have small art, maybe a caption idea for this: describe the feeling of holding the work of art in your hands. Help the viewer feel the emotion of a small work. How does it feel? Feeling is a very powerful engagement tool. So talk about the feeling of that. Ask people, have you ever held a small work in your hand? How does it feel? Talk about the intricacies, talk about the details, the smell, the weight, show the front, show the back, show the side, the top, how it looks on the wall, how it looks on a desk. Those are the little fun things that you can do. Those of you who do create small works of art. I think you're going to have a great look with that. Number 6, sketch photo. Pretty much share a picture of a sketch, a study. Preparatory study of a work of art that's coming, or that you did, or that maybe you never did, but you still have the sketch. I did actually a whole series on my Instagram a while back of just sketches of paintings that were never produced, but I still made the sketch and I still have the sketches, and I don't think I'll never produce paintings with those sketches, so I just share them, and you had a lot of fun. I talked about the sketches, and people had great comments, and it was really cool. It was really awesome. So caption idea about this one: when you're curious about how your favorite film was made, you think about the behind the scenes, right? So the same idea applies here. Tell people a short story on how an idea begins for you, how things evolve, how you start, your sketching habits. This can be quite fun and can, I think, spark a lot of curiosity. So have fun with that one. And number 7 is sit or stand by your work. I've seen this done quite a bit. Some artists, I think, overdo it and they get super fancy, and I think sometimes that drives engagement. That's fine. People who are very photogenic, they can use this tool. But even if you are an introvert, here are things that you can do. Again, just because the scale of a person next to a work of art makes a huge difference on how you see the art. So for example, what you can do is you can put your phone on a timer, and then just sit in front of the artwork like if you are working on it, and that creates a scale. You don't have to show your face if you don't want to. If it was a bad hair day, don't even show the hair. You can do things like that, right? But if you are right by the art itself, it just creates beautiful context. So caption ideas for this, you can use the hashtag #ArtistLife, which is very common. #ArtistLife is your hashtag of choice for this one. Nothing is more appropriate than the artist and the work together in one shot. You can mention how long you have been an artist, how you began your art career, what were your biggest obstacles in your career, etc. Remember, storytelling is so powerful. You don't want to write a whole letter. Just pick something and focus on that little bit of a story. Anything that brings light on you as the artist is great for this type of shot. So enjoy it. I think this is a really awesome one. Number 8 is show your hands at work. Show your hands at work. I think right now, still, even though with all the technology that we have around, we still have to use our hands to make something, right? Even if you're working on the computer, even if it's artificial intelligence in some way, you still have to kind of create the coding and create the software that makes it all work, right? So show your hands at work. I think hands are very powerful visual storytelling devices that can do a lot of the talking for us. Just holding the brush, cleaning the material, molding the sculpture. These are really, really awesome, beautiful shots that you can do, and then you can share them later. A favorite quote related to the art making progress, for example, could be a great caption for something like this. Maybe a word of advice that a mentor once told you can make a great companion to this type of image, right? Something to think about, since you're just showing your hands. So about the process, maybe a quote from your favorite artist, or a quote that you read in a book that moved you, or a story that your teacher told you or something. Those are great ideas when you show your hands at work. All right, so that's number 8. Let's go to number 9. And number 9, another post that I suggest for you to use on Instagram or social media is installing a work of art. Installing a work of art. In other words, take a picture of you actually hanging the work, or putting it on a pedestal if it's a sculpture, or making it shiny, or whatever it is that you have to do, right? Some of the best, most engaged shots that I've seen on Instagram is when the artist is kind of installing the art, or maybe somebody is installing the art. And I have done this myself as well, installing a show, take a couple shots and then share that. Sometimes that gets more engagement than the artwork itself if I were just to show the picture of the art itself. There's something about the activity, the action of people engaging with the art in one way or another that fascinates people. Even that's when you see a famous work of art that is being installed on a museum. Yeah, you stop for a second and you look at it and it's like, oh, that's so cool, right? Think about that too. People look at that as an artist. What is it like to do that? So caption idea from here that you can do is, you can talk about from my studio into the world, or, how your art looks, or how your art, kind of looks on a living space or on an office space, or, whatever you may be installing this artwork, kind of give a little bit of context. And, this idea of taking your art from the studio out into the world, that's fascinating. And the next time you have an opportunity to do that, take some shots. Here's the thing about Instagram. You don't have to post only your most recent stuff. Actually, whenever you're out and about doing your art thing, take lots of pictures and then just spread them out over time. You don't have to post only what's recent. You can post a 10-year-old photo of you installing, maybe your first art show. That would be awesome. That would be a really great thing to do. And then you talk about that. So again, always think about the context. All right, number 10. So we're halfway into the 20 Instagram post ideas to try next. Number 10. And again, this is one of the many resources that are inside of my online course, Social Media Skills for Artists to Grow Your Audience and Get Results in 2019. And you can get that course if you just go to my website at www.theartistnextlevel.com/social media, or just look for the link in the description of this podcast. All right. Number 10, planning your day. How about a picture of you planning your day, working in the planning of your day, maybe in your studio desk, or in your table, or in your kitchen table. As a caption idea, talk about how you come up with ideas for your art. What does it take to be an artist today? What are some of the things that you do as an artist? Show the real life of the artist. That's pretty much what you're doing on that one, right? Give a little bit of context. Don't just take a picture of the coffee, which a lot of people do. Rather, take a picture of you with your coffee, but, working on ideas, right, on a notepad or your computer or something like that. So people get an idea of what is it like to live the artist's life. Number 11, before and after pictures. This is very powerful, right? Before and after pictures. Here you can do, the work, how it started, how it ended, right? The work inside the studio, out in the gallery, or, you working on it, and then the collector receiving it. Or, I've seen also before and after pictures where, if it's a portrait that you may be working on, the person and then the finished product, right? So think about before and after in any way that you can do. And those are really fun as well. Caption ideas, you can talk about how long it takes to make a work of art, for stages, the different stages that you go through when you make art, for example. Talk about how you decide when a work of art is finished or not. Maybe you have an anecdote or story. Maybe you remember people. that is associated with that particular post. Let's say if it's a portrait, for example, or maybe it's a landscape, whatever it is, before and after are very powerful and always engage people in conversations. Number 12 is a time-lapse video. Do a time-lapse video. This one is also pretty cool. We all have seen time-lapse videos, and with phones today, smartphones, super easy to do it. You just set your phone in a corner, get a little stand for your phone or a little tripod, put it there, click on video, or most phones today have time-lapse option where you just click there and then you start working, and then the video will just take the camera or the phone will take a picture every few seconds and then make a video out of it. Those are very cool. Caption idea for this, just invite people into your creative world. Just kind of talk about, give some context about what is it that we're looking at. All right, number 13 is a person looking at your art. Not you inside your studio, but a person looking at your art. I have done this a lot of times. When I have a show, I like to walk around, and if I see somebody standing in front of my art, bam, I snap a picture, right? I don't have to show their face, just their silhouette, which a lot of times it looks pretty cool, and just snap a picture of people looking at your art. Or maybe sometimes you see a person kind of pointing at a certain part of your art, bam, snap a quick picture right there. And then you use them over time, right? You use them over time. Don't just post all your pictures at once, but kind of use them later. And this is a great way, again, to get people engaged in this idea of looking at art is important. Looking at art in person is important, not just in our screens, but in real life. Caption idea for this, again, this could be a learning moment for people. Tell people about the importance of art in our life, in culture, why we should look at art and let our imagination flow. Bring value to another person's world by expanding the way we view art. Maybe think about some of the lessons that you learn in art appreciation back in the day. Anything like that could be very useful for this type of post. So check it out. I think you will have a lot of fun with this as well. Number 14 is interior design ideas. And I've seen a lot of artists do this, and very successfully as well. And so in this one, what you want to do is have your work hanging on a beautiful room, or a beautiful space, or a beautiful office. You can do this in person. If you have a spot in your home, there's a little corner space where you can hang your art, and there's a little table and flowers or something like that. What you want to do on this one is show how your work looks on a living space, right? Whether it's a home space or an office space. There's a lot of power in that, particularly if you're trying to sell more art. Show how people live with your art. Whenever somebody buys a work of mine, I ask, if possible, if they want to, and I say, I would really appreciate if you send me a quick picture of how it looks in your home. I would just love to share that with my audience. I would not share your name or anything. I just love it, And I have in my website a section that's called Living with Art, where I do that. And it is powerful, right? It's powerful to see how that happens. Now, you don't have to do this with artwork that you have sold. You can do it with artwork that you want to sell, right? Now, today you can also download applications. There's tons of apps that you can download, and you can put your art, in front of a living room area or a coffee table and those things like that. And it just gives context of people on how is it like living with your art. Caption idea. This makes a great promotional material when pushing sales. Show people how your work looks in a home or in a office. And, you just talk a little bit about that context. What does it feel like living with art? All right, number 15 is expect the unexpected. That's how I call this one, expect the unexpected. Sometimes the unexpected things happen in the studio. Maybe you have kids, and your kids, just happen to come in and start drawing along with you. So I have tons of pictures of my kids helping me out with, with just sketching and stuff like that. And so, it was really fun to share those as well. Or maybe your cat jumps in the couch and, right next to the painting. You can take a picture of those unexpected moments, right? Or maybe a great friend of yours comes in to visit you in the studio, and maybe you can take a picture together in your studio, right? So again, you give a little bit of context on that. Or maybe by mistake, you spill your coffee on your favorite sketchbook, and take a picture of that, right? Caption idea for this is, you will never guess what just happened, right? You will never guess what just happened, question mark. If there's something like, guess what happened here, or you won't believe this, right? Things like that. And it's interesting. Again, invites people to the life of the artist. That's what you're doing. These are not scammy posts, right? You're not going to buy or download stock imagery. This is just showing what it is like to be an artist, creating conversations with people, which at the end of the day, if you missed my previous podcast, make sure you check it out, my previous episode, where I talk about this idea of changing the way you see social media from a marketing standpoint to one of creating conversations and really getting close to your audience, and an opportunity that you have to connect, to have meaningful conversations with people on the other side. But if you're not provoking conversations, don't expect to have them. Don't expect people are going to come in and tell you how much they love your art. Maybe once in a while they do, but it won't be the norm if you are not provoking conversations. And all these 20 tips, ideas that I'm giving you, will help you do that. And this one could be really fun when that happens. And this is one that you cannot plan. This is one that something just unexpected happens. Take a picture, quick video of that, and then share it with your audience. I think you'll have a lot of fun. Number 16, Throwback Thursday. You know that Thursdays is Throwback Thursday, hashtag TBT or Throwback Thursday. And you can do this and, look at one old photograph that you may have and just repost it. It's a great opportunity. Remember that, when you open your Instagram account, maybe you started with some really great pictures, but your followers right now, if they were not following you 6 months ago, they probably didn't even see them, right? Nobody really scrolls all the way down into your post feed. So it's really okay. It's really cool to reshare that. And actually, you can do it now also very easily with the Instagram post itself. You can now share that post in your stories, which is pretty awesome. It's fairly new feature where you can take a really old post and just click share, and you can share it to your stories. So that's a great way to also kind of bring back an old memory into today's world through a Throwback Thursday post. All right, number 17, we're getting close to the end of the 20 Instagram post ideas to try next. Hope you're enjoying it. How you like it, my friend? Let me know how you like it. Number 17 is exhibitions. Maybe if you have a show or an exhibit, or you're part of a show, a group show, whatnot, just take a picture of that, and not only the artwork, but the artwork in the show, the capture the feeling, the people interacting with the art. Those are pretty awesome. Let people see your activity as an artist outside of your studio. Caption idea for this: just share what is the work about and all the details of when and what is it that we're looking at. In other words, is this a show? Is this the opening? Is it a closing? Is it an artist talk? Whatever that is, kind of invite people to come along with you in the journey or in the ride, and give us some context of what is this event. Pretty awesome. Number 18 is share a quote. Why not? You can share a quote as well. If you have a favorite quote that has inspired you over the years as an artist, share that quote, make a little post. There are tons of apps that you can download. And the cool thing is, we are artists, so we already have imagery. You can take, one of your favorite pieces that you think might go really well with that quote and just put that there. I did that the other day. I had a post a painting that had a big wing, and the painting was about peace. So what I did is I also pulled a quote that I really liked. I put it under the piece, and I make that my post. And I had a lot of engagement, people that engaged either with the image and the quote or both. And that was pretty cool. So think about that. They're just super easy. Today, you don't need to be a Photoshop guru to do it, because there are so many apps. You can do that. You can download the app, put the background. They already come with layouts. Just change the background, type in the quote, and boom, in 3 seconds, you have a beautiful quote with your art that you can post, get it out there. And, if the quote is really nice, sometimes people reshare that, will reshare them in their stories and so on, so other people get to see it. Number 19 is sales promotion. Sometimes it comes time where you really have to push the sale, right? If you are also, promoting something right now, then make the promotion for the sale. If you're running a promotion, make a specific image post for that, and run the promotion, right? Whatever it may be. As a caption idea, just expand on the promotion. If you're trying to sell art, then make that your call to action. I always say this: sometimes we don't get inquiries because we don't ask for them, right? We don't tell people, hey, if you're interested in this, send me a message or click on my profile link, or tell people what do they need to do in the promotion if they want to be part of that promotion. You gotta be specific. Don't assume that people will know what to do. So if you're running a promotion, just make a post that relates to the promotion. Now, if you're doing a promotion that's seasonal, maybe you're doing like a series of small works for, let's say, around Christmas time or whatnot, you can make a whole series of posts about it, post them, and then when the promotion is over, you can go back and delete them. There's nothing that says that you have to keep your post forever on Instagram. You can go back and clean out your account later. That is totally fine. And that way you run your promotion really heavily. And then you go back, you delete those posts, and then you keep it nice and clean, and you continue, engaging in conversation. So what you don't want to do is always be promotional. Just every post a promotion. Why would people engage in conversation with you if all you're doing is just marketing? The idea is to do the other thing around. Have always conversations, and then when it comes time to promote heavily, and then go back to conversations, right? So that way you don't scare people away. And number 20, my friend, the last one, number 20, is video. Video is becoming more and more important. So anytime that you have an opportunity to create video, you can do it. There are great apps like Moshow, Moshow. It's a great app. Magisto is another one, Magisto, again, that you can use to create really cool little video sets, and then you can share them either in your stories or in your posts, and things of that nature. Caption ideas for videos, just whatever you want to share that gives some context for that particular video piece. Again, videos are engaging, videos are fun, people love videos. They keep them interested. Just keep them short, keep them to the point, exciting, and boom. So my friend, these are it. These are the 20 post ideas that you can use on your social media next time when you are running out of ideas. And if you found them to be useful for you, if you think that you're going to use this, please consider sharing this episode with a friend. Please share the link to this episode with another artist or a group of artists that you may know, or maybe if you're a part of another group with many other artists, please share it so that they can also benefit from these ideas. And if you want to check out my social media skills for artists to grow your audience and get results in 2019, all you have to do is go to www.theartistnextlevel.com/social media. And my friend, thanks so much for listening. I will see you at the next level.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.